A very good afternoon, Team Zimbabwe, and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. We continue to take a look at what's happening in the nation Zimbabwe, and e.t.c is the succession issue within Zanu-PF. Baba Mnangagwa na Baba Chiwenga, they are both testing each other. Set free is raised something which is very important. This is something which I have been thinking about investigating and looking at more vividly. The challenges we have in this era is that we are limited in terms of how we are operating and how we are doing our things. But let us go straight to what Set Free is said right here. Zanu-PF people, they are trying by all means possible to maintain the temperatures such that they don't rise to the fullest. Reasons being, there are people who are going to benefit if Mnangagwa and Chiwenga split. There are people definitely who are going to benefit because they will go with Mnangagwa. There are people who benefit because they will go with Chiwenga. But there are people who don't have any side. Or we have jeopardized the relations with Chiwenga and also have jeopardized the relations with Mnangagwa somehow. Which means these are people who are neutral or who remain neutral or who are at the center of the storm. They don't have anywhere to go. So the only benefit they will have is when everything remains where it is. The problem is there are people who are planning to boo General Chiwenga pa conference irikuya. The major agenda, these people are going to be people vanenge vachingori vana ndinda mbata vekuti they are ready to be sacrificed, even to be imprisoned for a period. Mukuru anenge achingoramba kuti antu vazive. The same way he was doing achituma vana tsenengamo, achituma vana vachindoita misikanzwa yavo, achivaramba. The same thing he did with Jonathan Moyo. Zvakaita kuti vazorwa pakucholocho. So you'd see that these people are the people who are going to make a move. Number one, they will be at that venue illegally. They will do it against the directives of the party leadership. Party leadership ichataura kuti no toda madelegates chachawo akadai imana mbudzi yadhurasu kudai, but ivo they will come by ginde, and the security apparatus deployed there inenge ine instruction yekuti varege vaite zvavanoda, then kana vakange vazodai mozovadai, which means they will be allowed to do something. What is the motivation behind everything? The motivation behind everything is not to humiliate Vice President Chiwenga. That is not the motive. The motive is to place General Chiwenga in the political dead zone. How? General Chiwenga, they want him to make a move first. He has refused to make the first move. Why? He knows very well what is happening. So the agenda is, let Chiwenga make the first move, then we finish him off. So remember, Mnangagwa is the sitting president, which means any reaction from the generals and there is a mistake, they can easily and quickly terminate General Chiwenga, and they will say, he wanted to do a coup on me. I'm a sitting president. What he did was treasonous. The security authorities, the security responded accordingly or according to the threat which was there. Imagine a something coming in such a way. Who else is going to say, no, this is so kudai. So this is a trap. The generals are being put into a trap. So what do they need to do? They need to cautiously trade. If they are to make the first move, they must be, number one, 100% prepared. Number two, they must be overprotected. They must make sure that they have protected their principal left, right, and center. And every key member must make sure that they have beefed up their security. Number two, they've disconnected themselves from the girlfriends. That is critical. Make sure kuti pamuri kuita chinichi hamusi kuchita nevakadzi venyu kana nemagirlfriends enyu. Disconnect totally unless you have been in the trenches with your wife or with that girlfriend of you. Unless you have been in the trenches for a very long time and she can be trusted. Another issue is don't share information nana tumgasungata, because everybody is eager to be the first person to break the news of something. Everybody want to be the first to break. I have credibility. So for me to have credibility, I must break each and every secret first. If the generals share critical information, they are doomed, because Vanatumgasungata will run ahead. And because the principal at this point in time has massive resources and also human resources on the ground, it will be difficult for you to maneuver, because kune vakadzi vakatodeployiwa vekuti vanatumgasungata venyu ava, they cannot resist vakadzi vakadaro. They can't. Kune dzimwe mari dziriko zvokuti vanatumgasungata venyu vane nzara cannot resist mari dzakadaro. So by sharing any piece of information, that piece of information is very effective, very important to the other side, because they can now join pieces. What they have within their intelligence, the puzzles they have, and the puzzles from Vanatumgasungata, then everything put together, vane answer, irinani nenge credible. So at this point in time, General Chiwenga is being pushed into the political dead zone. Number one, there is a great possibility that General Chiwenga, if he is not careful, you will be left with no opportunity to run a counter. Pane kuvhiringidzwa kuchaitwa zvinhu ipapapa nevanhu vari kualigna nema-generals. So if he is not very careful, everything shall be jeopardized by somebody who will do something, who will bend the field from nowhere. But that person has been very, very, very close to G40, very, very, very close to the generals. That is the problem which we have at this point in time. So when you see these generals doing all these things, everything is being done openly. I agree with my brother Set Free. When you see things being done openly, it's because they know what they want to achieve. And their biggest achievement is to make sure that they divide the general and the military. Once they've done that, the general will say, how do I save myself? You will rush to seek protection from mama, and the mama will say, kuna baba, people make mistakes. You will be swallowed, and everything will go down the drain. Which means a serious and a very strong plan B. So when they are doing their own things, General Chiwenga, when he's moving his chess pieces, he must know that Team G40, there are people who can be trusted within G40. There are people who can't be trusted within G40. He must know that. So when he is making his moves, he must make his moves cautiously, wisely, and more importantly, must make sure that each and every general, especially the serving generals, he must make sure that whatever they're doing, they are now doing anything. Those generals must be overprotected. They must protect each other. They must do everything they can, put each and every resource you can. If it means you are putting private intelligence people, you have to deploy them to make sure that you protect these generals at all costs, because one silly mistake is going to put the blame on the general himself, and everything shall be scattered. So they are being poked left, right, and center. What is at stake and what is very important is, that my retired generals are basa, because their political ambitions are known and they can switch sides, take sides. But they are serving generals who can never be in the open. Those are the targets. So he is being placed in the political dead zone because these generals, they will start to interact with the retired who are now in the open. Which means whatever they do, they need to use wisdom. They need to have concessions with young soldiers. clear concessions with the young soldiers, clear promises with the young soldiers. That is the only way they're going to have something which is effective, because these young soldiers can use their intelligence networks to connect the dots or to bridge the information gaps between the senior generals and the retired generals, the serving and the retired. That is the only way out. So at this point in time, a lot is happening within Zanu-PF. But the major issue is Team Lacoste is saying, tanga kudena. Saka kudena kwavari kuita uku kwakafanana netumbwa kanouya kachi kakamirira kuti wewe urove. Paunongorova ndopaunoona ana bhoki vakuuya manje kuti hondo yaita sei yatanga. So a lot is happening. The major question is, who is going to emerge victorious in all this? Who? The reason why personally I don't want any side to win in this whole thing is because we are likely not going to benefit anything from the two factions. There is a third way, which will be the broker. Isisu trufana famba na broker. If we move with either of these factions, we are likely going to be doomed, which means we have to move with the broker. We have to move with the broker. So, these issues are very sensitive, very deadly, very sensitive. And, this conference, ikapera zvakanaka ngatitende Mwari. Conference iri kuuya ikapera zvakanaka, let us thank God. Because soon after this conference, fireworks are expected to be seen. The outcome depends on the strength of each party. Ava vakasimbira kupi, avakasimbira kupi. In terms of strategy, ava vaisa moves up, ava vaisa moves up. But at this point in time, the generals have an upper hand. Why? It's because they are running calculated moves. General vane one advantage. Vane a direct link from the past and the new. Vane a direct bridge. And that direct bridge must be protected at all costs, because that is the target. Which means kana amai vakasachenjera, kune vanhu vanouya vachiuya vanouya, but vachiuya vanouya nepresent worship. Present worship is a very deadly and very dangerous, because ndo panotanga kudonhera madhimoni ipapo. Zvichireva kuti kana mukasachenjera rinobuda dhimoni rikapaumba zvese, imi muri pawanyarikani. Pamunozoti makuchitanga kupepuka mapera kudhara. Which means this proverb, it's something which is very important at this point in time. So whatever which is happening, each and every side which is making a move, they must understand these things. To say, my general, mukuru ane advantage, yekuti ane direct bridge. But that bridge must be protected against each and every thug, be it friends or whatever, colleagues, whatever. So it depends on how they want everything to happen. It depends on how they want to make their own moves. But the major question is everyone in agreement with Lacoste? Is everyone in agreement with the generals? It depends on the importance of the national question. If the national question is so much important, then it can't be that everyone is in agreement. If the national question is not of importance, then it's a possibility that some people will be in agreement. So very tough situations ahead, and we'll continue to look at what is happening at this point in time. And we are taking a look on either side to see who is who. So at this point in time, here's my view. Timu iri riri kudena. And the reason why vari kudena is to try and anger the generals. If the generals fall for it, then they are doomed to fail. But if they maintain their position, continue to work, it will then move us to a point where we will have the broker. Once we have the broker, then the whole of Zimbabwe shall be excited. That will be the beginning of a new great Zimbabwe. So at this point in time, each and every which is happening is an advantage to the people of Zimbabwe, because the weakening of either sides is paving way for what is great, which is to come. Then if they give an opportunity for the brokers, then it's a plus for the people of the Republic of Zimbabwe, because only the brokers are the people we can trust at this point in time. So very interesting moments ahead. We'll watch and see what is going to happen at the Congress, at the conference, which is coming. Will they boo him? If they manage to boo him, what will be the repercussions? What will be the action to be taken by the generals? Okay, let's say they do not boo him. What's next? What is the next move? Or if they boo him and he doesn't react, what is next? Next. So very, very important issues are very, very important issues ahead. Remember, he did it. Nana Grace. Vana Grace vakaunganidza vanhu kumarali vachipopota vachishaudha to an extent yekuti vakazotosvika pakumudzinga. Pakumudzinga ipapo kune munhu one akangoita umhwa hwekuzva kuti general havapo vari kunze kwenyika. Let us simply send decoys to try and arrest him. Zvobva zvavharana. And it happened and caused everything. It turned everything upside down. So this is it. I don't know your thoughts and your views. Let us talk in other episodes and other broadcasts.